Hello and welcome to another chapter of a tome pulled right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your consistent host, Lothran, and there's ever so much more data to relay. So let's get to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a cozy spot, and pay accurate attention to Fleet Part 61, Creative Solutions.
Okay, wrong question. Forget why you want me for this. What do you want me to do about it?
Cam looked like he was about to pop all of his blood vessels. Perhaps the gunshot ringing through your ears from inches away, aimed just slightly off from your face, wasn't clear enough. I want you to fix it for me.
Aren't you the best guy around for that? Alduin quickly put up both of his hands to stave off the revolver thrust back into his face, even though his right hand was just a mangled series of nubs where his fingers had once been. He then hid the hand he was so very ashamed of.
Cam marched in place in a frustrated manner. I don't have time, Alduin. I have a missile boat corvette I have got to finish by the end of this week, and it's only half done, and a million other things to keep from falling apart. I know there's a problem. I know someone is stealing from me. Do the only thing in your wasted hollow of a life you've proven you can't seem to fuck up no matter how hard you try, and solve this shit. Cam nodded to Vildar. Do it, Cam ordered rather simply and finally.
No! Alduin shouted as the ancient voodoo device was clamped around his right wrist. Alduin Athun, ancestor of the very same hero from legend, cried out in terror and agony as the device fused itself to his very DNA with searing precision. Why would you do this to me? Alduin cried pitifully in the hoarse voice gifted to him from the obvious, gruesome slash scar across his entire neck.
Cam calmed down once the device was in place. What is the one thing in all of your life of criminal misdeeds that you have always sought out, Alduin? Cam asked him, all three men present knowing the answer to that question. So why did he ask it?
Alduin cast a baleful glance to Vildar, and then to Cam. This will give me back my hand. The Vu took it from me, you know that, right?
And thus it makes sense that only a Vu device can give it back to you, doesn't it? And a bit of poetic justice along for the ride.
Alduin tried to fiddle with the bracelet as if trying to remove something that was now a part of him, feeling the same pain from pinching the squishy bracelet as if he'd attacked the scarred skin that had been beneath it, before that skin had been scorched when he was just an idiot child, too curious and trusting for his own good. Not that Alduin had ever overcome that particular flavor of idiocy.
Yes or no, Alduin? Yes or no?
Can I keep the device if I say no?
Let it never be said that Cam Novir isn't generous. But Vildar here tells me you've angered the Voidborn, the Archivist Black Ops agents, with whatever you did on Daramore Prime, and that you know this, which is why you were so eager to remain in that Daramore prison hole that we found you in.
So they won't touch me as long as I work for you, Alduin suggested, rather hopefully.
Nothing so concrete, I'm afraid. I have been told, though, Grigari is a sore spot for them, by a friend of mine. Cam looked over at Vildar. Over a recent discovery of my people. Likely the one assigned, the Voidborn assigned to Grigari, will seek you out. Cam tossed the energy revolver he'd just fired at Alduin right at his face.
Alduin caught it, reacting on instinct. Well, trained instinct of a life of letting his damaged, maimed, right hand take much of the brunt of the damage coming his way. But that was where the life he was used to leading ended, and the life of incredibly strange shit, even stranger than a life stuffed to the brim with already odd occurrences, really began. Alduin caught the long, heavy 3-chamber revolver in his hand, his right hand. In the right hand, with perfect, illusory, hollow-like, energy-formed fingers of his new hand remade, he dropped the gun on the ground to examine the gift, only to his abject horror, finding his old nubs of ruined, knotted flesh held before his face. Then he looked down at the gun, swallowing his pride. The sort of tool he'd always avoided using, building up a lifetime of trust with criminal bosses and their organizations, built upon his name of never picking up a gun for any reason. And then he looked at his hand, the wreck remaining of what had once been there, taken from him when he was but a boy. And then back at Cam, who stood above him smiling in a knowing way. Had to give it to him. He's as inventive as the myths are already saying. Clever fucker. When Alduin picked up the gun again, which he really had no choice in doing. Even if he hadn't picked it up, it was already done. When he did it, he'd discard all of his previous credentials, tossing away any hopes of working for any of the other bosses that might put up with the cost of keeping him around, just to make sure everyone else kept their hands away from where they shouldn't put them. And afterward he'd be Cam Novier's man, no matter how he felt about the exchange. No one else would have him after that. And the gun felt powerful when he held it, in the hand he didn't really have. Maybe powerful enough to protect him from even the Voidborn. Daramore Prime had been a lot of things, mostly epically bad decisions. Alduin reached for the revolver, grabbing it in his hand the moment his nubs became close enough for whatever trick of the old Vu to start its little magic back up. It felt fucking awesome to grab that weapon. So immensely, massively, powerfully worth all the trouble he'd seen to get to this point in his long, hard life. All I have to do is find out who's stealing Digra oil. That's it. That's all you want from me.
Everyone involved, top to bottom, and report every other vice and trade you come across to me along the way. You got it? Every last one.
You're not one of those Puritan types, are you? I can't stand those cunts.
You're the only other person that survived an encounter with the Zir.
Alduin paled at the mention of those monstrous gods, in as unafraid a manner as Cam nonchalantly tossed about toward him.
I see you remember just how they are. Tell me, am I a Puritan to have survived their touch?
Alduin couldn't say it, but he shook his head, pushing himself back up to his feet, knowing the words that would fall from his mouth were written right into his destiny, no matter how much the foolish, prideful parts of himself ever wanted to object. I'm your man now, or until you find somebody better, or try to rid the verse of me like so many before have failed at. Alduin held the revolver in his hand, squeezing it as if it were the most vital part of himself, while taking the offered cigarette from Cam and watching it light itself as he took the first habit-formed drag at it. You're going to sell a lot of these fucking things.
How do you think I afforded the bribes for your ass? Cam joked while enjoying his own cigarette and walking off with a quiet Vildar in tow. Get to work, he called back over his shoulder.
Alduin picked up the pack of smokes Cam had left for him, wondering what his next move should be. Find a place to settle into, a quiet, shady, rotten hole like he was used to. Or chase a skirt and have a bit of fun. Alduin settled for the latter. After all, if he was charming enough, her place would do for a time, and the company would be so much better than what he was used to.
And so it is. Our time together has once more come to a close. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the tale as much as I have the telling of it. As always, I've been your dedicated host, Lothrin, and this was Fleet Part 61, Creative Solutions, another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, sadly, ever so sadly, we must once again part ways. Corvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, sir, Lothrin. Ah, cool. Alduin sounds like a bit of a gumshoe sort of guy. Lothrin's always going on about him. It'll be awesome to see a decent one in action, if he is decent. Oh, Lothrin's giving me that look like I gotta go back to work. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't you let me catch a single one of you leaving any of that nasty, rude, or awful stuff, though. You keep all that baloney to yourselves, got it? Don't you do it, don't you do it. Don't you ever do it, not ever, never. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget that we strongly encourage each and every one of you to stay safe out there. See you again tomorrow for Fleet Part 62. Oh, I wonder how long this arc is going to take. Like 1 week or more? Or, no, Lothrin's giving me the weird eyes. No, I gotta hurry up. Okay. Good night and good luck. You'll need it. Bye-bye, everybody. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. 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 Are you still here? Why are you still here? Bye-bye.